a democracy is based on many, many voices, on the multivocality of these voices and people who, many of whom disagree with you, but then they challenge you because you have to defend who you are and what you believe in. And when that goes away, it becomes politicized. What I meant is that my allegiance is not to any political group or party. Right now, about both parties, I might say a pox on both their houses, but...
I think you're going to get some agreement out here.
My allegiance is to my civic duty and responsibility as a human being and as a citizen of the world and citizen of this country. And that in itself can become very subversive because it questions a great deal that goes on in political life.
You say in the book, imaginative knowledge is not something you have today and discard tomorrow. It's a way of perceiving the world and relating to it. I love that. I feel like I can live that. How do you live that?
Well, I think that you are living that, you know. And I mean, when you were talking in your introduction about wars and these ideas, the stories, they are abstract in a sense, you know, but they exist in the deepest part of our, it is like falling in love. You know, when you fall in love, it is very difficult to explain how you feel or to explain the fact that you thought always you would fall in love with a tall, dark, handsome stranger, and why this bald, short, not so handsome, familiar stranger, you know, you fell in love with him. You know, and that is the great thing about being human, that you are unexpected even to yourself, you know. And so with these stories, that is how it is. We discover not that, you know, about superheroes or things that are, you know, too amazing. We discover how amazing these so-called ordinary moments of life are, and how extraordinary every human being is, you know. And
I thought about how, in reading that quote, about how we can be from very different corners of the world and very different life experiences, but there is something about a story being told that will resonate because we're human, right? It says something about human history, and maybe it's buried deep in our subconscious that we're not fully aware of it. But that's the chord that rings, right?
I mean, what can I say, right? You know, because I think that is exactly what a Republic of Imagination is. It is a community of readers who transcend nationality, religion, race, gender, class, ethnicity, religion. They come from everywhere. And you know, it is the most democratic act, actually, the act of reading, or libraries or bookstores, because of the fact that all these different books from different times and places are side by side. You know, when we think of Middle East these days, what do we think of? It is all violence and blood.
Chaos.
Chaos and blood. You go into a library and go into history of Middle East, and you find this country named Iraq was once one of the most ancient civilizations called Mesopotamia. That the Islamic Republic of Iran has been only Islamic Republic of Iran for the past 30 years, that it was one of the greatest empires called the Persian Empire. It has some of the best classical poets in the world today. You want erotic and sensual? I suggest you read some of these classic Persian poets and watch some of these dances, you know, and you discover that, yes, we have so much in common. And human beings need continuity. They need to know that someone before them has felt the same way.